You're listening to the TV Obsessive channel, presented by TVObscast.com. Okay, welcome back to the TV Obsessive podcast. Here for episode 29. So I'm Cameron Crane, executive editor of TVObsessive.com, joined by Ryan Kirksey, writer and contributor for this site. How are you doing today, Ryan?
I am now also Cameron Crane, executive editor of the site, which hopefully
Oh
we'll
no,
mention to you later. But
I
don't
know.
don't
Uh,
punch me. Don't punch me.
anyway, Happy New Year.
Yeah,
Um,
Happy New Year. Same to you.
so today we're going to talk about Fargo season 5, episode 8, titles Blanket. We were just talking right before we got on air about how much we enjoyed the episode, so I'm looking forward to talking about it. As always, we'll first talk about what's in the news related to TV a bit, what we've been watching, and so on and so forth. And yeah, so it's January 2nd, 2024. What caught your eye this week, Ryan?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow news period this weekend between Christmas and New Year's, but a few things, few renewals, few pieces of news that came up. I had done a quick rewatch of the MCU show Hawkeye over the holidays. So this news about Jeremy Renner caught my eye, which is it's now just over 1 year since he had this accident with the snowplow that literally almost took his life.
Right.
And he's now just said that he is ready to come back. He's going to start filming Mayor of Kingstown again. So he has been rehabbing and ready to go. I mean, good for him. This was a serious situation a year ago, but he started making public appearances again.
Yeah, I mean, that's great to hear. What kind of was a wild, it seemed like a really weird story
Yeah.
in part, but obviously he was seriously injured. So great to see him alive and well
Yeah.
and getting back to work. I mean,
Yeah.
on that
Ready to go.
road
I have never seen
and
Mayor of Kingstown. Apparently that's on Paramount, but I don't
yeah, I
know.
haven't either. I was reading about Jeremy Renner, and this was mentioned, and I think it's related to Yellowstone and all those other.
It's in the
There's like a
Sheridan verse.
Yellowstoneverse.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's in the Yellowstoneverse, which
yeah.
is like really popular,
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
So like we're out of touch elitists because we don't watch it.
I did not know that. I would have not guessed that they were in the same universe, but okay. All right.
I think that's what I read. Either that or it's just like another Taylor Sheridan show.
I see.
But I don't know. I just presume that they're in the same
Taylor,
universe.
Taylor
Who
Sheridan had a
knows?
show last year, late last year, called Lioness with Tandy Newton. Did you ever hear about this show?
Maybe.
It was like a female special ops agent, goes on dangerous missions, and so it's we're out of the ranch territory into sort of the military world, and I don't know, got some interest, but I've never, I can't say other than the first. I'm in this somewhere in the second season of Yellowstone. I've never really seen any Taylor Sheridan shows.
Yeah, I never got around to checking them out. And honestly, it kind of made my list in part because I did feel like am I being like an elitist or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
But, then he made some remarks during the writer's strike that made me not want to watch his shows. So I don't know. I don't know. Other upcoming things. Did you ever see? So I only made the one note about this one because of the film. Did you ever see the film Sexy Beast?
I never have.
Starring Ben Kingsley and some other people.
Okay,
I,
okay.
I I'd have to double check what year it came out. I don't know. I haven't seen it like since it came out at some art house theater. Like,
Yeah.
and I think we went in. I remember because I was visiting my friend. I think it was in Royal Oaks, Michigan. I saw Sexy Beast, and it was probably like 1999 or something like that.
Oh boy. Okay.
Um, something like that. So apparently they're making a prequel show. It pinged my radar because I don't know. I'm intrigued. The movie was good,
Yeah.
but honestly, like I don't know that we need a prequel show. So there's also that aspect to it. Like
Hmm.
no one has ideas, you know.
Also
Um,
on also on Paramount. Are we this channel is having a moment lately.
yeah, it is. The Curse ongoing. Curse is
Curse.
quite good. Curse
Exactly.
is on Showtime, and of course this. Well, I think. They smushed the brands together. Are they different brands anymore?
Yeah. Go listen to episode 27. We try to work out that confusion a little bit.
Paramount Plus with Showtime is
Yeah.
anyhow, yeah, Sexy Beast. So I don't know, like it comes out later this month, and um, I'm kind of intrigued. I
Okay.
guess I'm
I
kind of
have to say
intrigued.
this was completely off of my radar. I had no idea that this was, I've been looking at some of these, what are the most anticipated shows coming in 2024? This was not one I had heard about. So this all, reading this now, this is all new to
Right,
me.
because it's like you don't. It's you're they're making a prequel series of a relatively obscure yet
Yeah.
acclaimed late 90s indie film.
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. And so it's is there an audience for this? And am I part of the audience for it?
Yeah. I think
Maybe, but
you're asking the right question. Is there literally no other ideas out there that we have to go to?
right. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't mean to be too demeaning to the people making the show, but it's just part of me thinks like, what? You want to make a TV show? You're like, well, this movie was good, and like, is that what we do now?
Yeah,
You
exactly.
say like, I'm going to
Exactly.
make a prequel to Out of Sight. That's what I do.
IP is valuable. Even if it's
I guess.
indie, nobody watched it on IP, I guess it's still
And this,
valuable.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, it's encouraged, I guess, is the thing. Also, like, kind of
Yeah.
structurally. In other news, I mean, I guess this is also IP, and so it's based on books. I know you've been watching Slow Horses. You see today it's now been renewed for season 5.
Yeah, so I'll be honest with you. So I'm now in season 2 of Slow Horses. Thought season 1 was had a fantastic ending, so jumped right into the second season. And I know that season 3 has just concluded. I did not know that it has been renewed for season 4, but then I see there's already going to be a season 5. So I mean, this is great. It's going to keep it coming, especially since they pump these things out like once a year.
I triple checked. I said, wait a minute. Does the Hollywood Reporter have a typo here? Because I know
Yeah,
season 3 just ended. Apparently, no, it was renewed for season 4 in the past.
yeah,
Maybe they're getting going. I know they were really quick. Season 2 came out really pretty
yes.
fast after season 1. Um,
So three of
again, I
these
mean,
came out in a 3-year span, which is not the model for these streaming services. I mean, there are only 6 episodes.
yeah.
There's a lot of depth, cinematography, location filming to these things, but they're pumping them out quick.
See, I think here's the thing though. Maybe they want this to be the model,
Yeah.
but they like Apple TV Plus. Maybe they want this to be the model, but then like, oh no, pandemic, and then they go for another year or two, and they're like, oh no, writer's strike. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, that's
that's
true.
maybe everything's just getting held up by these real world circumstances. Speaking of Apple TV, I saw on X, which God damn it, I want to call it X now because I don't think it's Twitter anymore. But anyway, I can't help the same quirk as everyone else. Twitter.
I understand.
Um, but Apple TV account, they just a few hours ago, I saw the tweet is simply a close-up shot of Adam Scott's face from
Oh,
Severance. It's a tease.
I was gonna ask if you had heard any news about
It's a
Severance.
tease.
Holy crap. Okay.
It's a tease, right? So like something's probably going to come out, in the next week or so. Maybe we'll get an announcement
Awesome.
on
I
Severance.
mean, just give me a trailer or something. I mean, it has been a long time since season 1 of Severance.
Yeah,
Oh,
looking forward to that one.
that is great to hear. All right, we need to wrap this up in about 5 minutes so I can go check that out. Okay.
Just check out the screenshot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like there's literally no other information. I went so far as to read the alt text to see if
Oh
there was
boy.
anything hidden in it. No, it's just they just put out an image. But
Oh man. Okay, so how about some more IP stuff? So to this news that has come out, George R. R. Martin has said there are 3 animated Game of Thrones shows in the works. To which I simply say no, no, thank you.
agreed. That was gonna be our response. Yeah,
And I am mostly a Game of Thrones apologist, not the fat last few episodes. I enjoyed House of the Dragon, but no, we do not need Game of Thrones animated spin-off shows when there's already another major IP going on right now. I mean, sure.
now,
Whatever
okay,
can keep them
so
from finishing the books. I mean, this is just more distraction.
yeah, you should finish the books.
Yeah.
You know, because I decided when I was like 12 years old that I was never again going to start a series of books until the all the books were out, you know? Because I got in the situation where I was waiting
Yeah.
for this Tad Williams book to come out for a couple of years. And like by that standard, I don't think I'm ever reading George R. R. Martin's books because it just
You,
feels
you
like
you never will. I
West.
asked for Christmas for Fire and Blood, the text for House of the Dragon. Got it. I'm going through it right now, about 100 pages in. And so I don't, it's sort of a confined text, and I'm interested in finishing that. But I'm with you. I will never start the the Game of Thrones series, the 5 book series, unless he definitively needs to finish it or the books come out. I mean, I can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. People have it's like honestly, people have been recommending that book
Yeah.
to me because of the kind of person that I am, and they know my taste for like 18 years. But way before Game of Thrones, the TV show came out, people were like,
Yeah.
you should check out these George R. R. Martin books." I'm like, "Oh, are
Yeah.
all the books out yet?" They're like, "Ah, no."
No, never will have. But anyway, just back to our point. I am just I will not be watching any animated shows that come out about this. Call that elitist, call that spoiled on what
I
production value
probably won't
they.
either, but in reading about this, so my knee-jerk reaction was no thanks, as you said.
Yeah.
But apparently, at least one of them is supposed to focus on the sea snakes,
Hmm.
and George R. R. Martin was saying it would have been just like really, really expensive to make live action, and that was part of um uh why that went to animated. Um, I don't know. The only thing that would intrigue me is if something led to backstory of what happened. Was it Valyria? Man,
Yes, where the
it's been a while.
Targaryens are originally from. Yes.
But like, isn't that also in Game of Thrones where the like zombies that really need some lotion are?
That's north of the wall. That's a different area, I believe.
No, not those zombies, not the White
Oh.
Walkers.
Oh, okay.
The ones that the ones that get Jorah or whatever his name is.
Oh, you talking to the Dornish people?
No, the like stone guys.
Oh,
I
oh.
can't remember that.
I think that's like an affliction, a
It's an
disease.
affliction. That is the one thing that we're just doing prequels. I want an explanation of that. Like that's the
Oh,
one thing I could go in for is
okay.
that's all. Sorry, rambling around. I don't even
Oh
remember.
gosh. Oh gosh. Okay.
There's still, I think, supposed to be a Jon Snow show, which
Yeah,
is
this is very up in the air, I think. I mean, only because Kit Harington is now involved with the MCU. He's now in this upcoming season of Industry with HBO. So
yeah.
I think that's still in the works, quote unquote, but nothing definitive.
Well, we'll see. But I'm not. See, I'm not super intrigued by anything prequel-ish about Game of Thrones, in part because I felt the ending was so bad. Even
Mhm.
watching House of the Dragon, even though some of it's intriguing, it's like,
Yeah.
well, I know that all of this leads to how Game of Thrones ended,
Yeah.
and that sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't like that ending. So
I've had this conversation with my wife and so many people, and I respect the opinion of I will not do this because of how they treated me at the end of Game of Thrones. My only response to that is at least this story has an ending. Game of Thrones had to sort of fly by the seat of their pants and create something because it had no ending. This one does have a George R. R. Martin ending to it at a bare
yeah,
minimum.
I always had the impression that they got an ending from George R. R. Martin, but it was just like written on a cocktail napkin.
Yeah.
That was
Now he knows what not to write if he ever does the books. Yeah.
anyhow. That we spent enough time
Uh,
on this.
yeah.
You want to talk about the
Ye-
Variety Top 100 a little
Yeah,
bit?
so just one of these things that comes out all the time. I just thought this would be we'll do this real quick. But Variety, everybody's familiar with them. I mean, it's a strong um, pop culture criticism and analysis. So they came up on a piece they released the last week of December, the top 100 TV shows of all time. Right, so we won't go through all of these, but I thought it'd be interesting, and you may have seen this, but I want to just quickly run through what they say are I'm going to read 10 through 7 to you, and you tell me what you think would be the top three. We'll just do this real fast, okay? So 10 is Roots,
Hmm.
9 is the Mary Tyler Moore Show,
Fair.
8 is Seinfeld. 7, The Wire. 6, Sex and the City. Okay.
Okay.
Um, 5, Breaking Bad. All right, we're getting into sort of common territory here. Number 4, The Simpsons. Good.
No.
Okay. Now, in whatever order you want, what 3 shows would make up the top of their list? I would say 2 of these are somewhat obvious. The other one I wouldn't have put it on this list or put at the top.
Well, so the problem is I did scroll through it and I do
Okay.
remember the
Okay.
top three. So I can't act like I'm
You can
super
act like you know.
smart
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
I
so let's
believe
go through
number
and see
three,
if you agree with it then.
yeah, we'll talk it through. I believe
Okay.
number three is The Sopranos.
Number 3, Sopranos.
Number two is Mad Men.
Number 2, Mad Men.
And number one was I Love Lucy.
Yeah, I Love Lucy.
Yeah.
Okay. So thoughts on that?
Can't complain.
Okay. I've never seen, I mean,
Can't complain.
I've seen I Love Lucy in passing, but is it more for the trailblazing aspect of it? Is for the what it did for comedic TV going forward? Sort of what about this number one do you agree with?
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird list. I feel like these things are often weird lists because this is one of those where they've got everything mixed together,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So I Love Lucy's on the same list as Mad Men, The Sopranos, The Simpsons.
yeah,
You go back up the list, there's some other stuff too, where you're just like, oh yeah, Jeopardy? Okay. You know. Um, so how do you judge the one against the other? It's a little bit
yeah.
apples and oranges, And I will recognize that like Twin Peaks might be my favorite show, but it's okay. It's not going to be. It is too low on the list, but I understand it's not going to be like going to win or whatever. Um, I don't know. I Love Lucy is a really good show. I mean, maybe it is because of, as you say, there's something sort of trailblazing about it. Certainly there
Hmm.
was. I think it was the first multi-camera sitcom, and I have to double check that.
Yeah,
Um, but it's also just really good, And I mean, I
yeah,
guess this is part of the thing that I have confidence that virtually anyone sitting here in 2024 now
yeah.
is could go back to this show from what, how many, 60 years ago or
Hmm.
whatever, and enjoy it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can't complain about it being number one.
And I think one of the points that they make, which I do agree with it, will some show that comes out this year in 2024, will there be a Lucy stomping in a vat of grapes moment that we remember 60 years later? And you can reference it, her stuffing her face full of chocolates as she's working in the chocolate, just those type of moments that have become literally iconic over the years. Maybe there won't be, but it's interesting to say, despite all the past 25 years of prestige TV, that this thing that was really one of a kind, really something that set the stage for so much will come after it is number one. So in the end, I don't have a problem with it, and these lists are made for clicks and debates. So
Yeah, I mean, the problem is it's just like,
yeah,
again, apples and oranges, or what's the standard, or because also, as you're noting, we're also bringing in, you know, something about time and how do we assess that, you
hmm,
know? Um, Part of my argument that I just made was the staying power of I
yeah,
Love Lucy. Well, look, I have no idea if Mad Men has that staying power. This is number
right,
two on the list, you know? Um, so yeah, I don't know. I can't complain, but
yeah,
overall, I do think that is one of the issues with this list is when they're mixing together every kind of TV show, the only thing that holds them together is that they were on TV,
yeah, exactly.
you know.
Well, just one of many lists that comes out in this period at the end of the year. So just wanted to throw that. But actually, why don't we move to what we're watching right now, though? Anything on your list? Same as last time. What's your list look like these days?
And it's very similar. I'm still on The Curse. A couple
Yeah.
episodes left of that.
Yep.
It's great. We don't need to belabor it more now. Maybe we'll talk about it more after the thing's
Yeah.
over. I am very curious to see like how does this season end, and is there going to be more? Right? I have the feeling it's going to be at least open for it, but we'll see. Um, Doctor Who Christmas special came out on Christmas. I
Hmm.
watched that. It seems like everyone liked it, and I'm a little bit of a Debbie Downer. I didn't think it was all that good. Um, I don't know. I was trying to articulate my issues with it, and I realized like I don't have the juice to like really give a good critical analysis that lands.
Yeah.
It felt to me just a step over the line in terms of cheesiness and kind of like you can't criticize Doctor Who for not being consistent logically
Right.
or whatever, right? But it just seemed like a little over that line. Um, but I don't know. I'm kind of hopeful for the new stuff. I do like the Doctor, and I do like the new companion. So to anyone listening who watches Doctor Who, I'm not griping about them.
Hmm.
Something about the plot just felt kind of, I don't know,
Is there a
Star
date?
Wars. It felt like cheesy Star Wars a little bit. Not even like good Star Wars, but it kind of like slipped into even a
Is
little
there a
cheesy stuff.
date for a next season of Doctor Who?
It's sometime this year. I think they're saying spring.
Okay.
So we'll see. What about you? What have you been watching?
Yeah, so mentions Slow Horses. Two episodes left of Monarch, which I've been recapping. I think I mentioned in the piece that posted last weekend that they sort of started to turn a corner there to try to position the show as in years it's in towards how it fits in the bigger universe. Much more about filling in gaps in the first half. Now they need to do some things to set up what's to come in the years ahead. So still a solid watch if you're a fan of that universe. And then I will be checking out 1 week from today, January 9th, the all five episodes drop at once of the MCU show Echo. I am, of course, hesitant after the abomination that was Secret Invasion, but I'm checking this out because this is the MCU's first TVMA entry. And so this is supposed to be very Daredevil, Punisher-ish. The trailers have looked decent, so I'll be checking that out, just binging it all at once, and we'll see. Maybe I'll throw something up on the site about some thoughts on that.
Well, yeah, so they're releasing it all at once. We talked about Echo before.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, curious to see what they do there.
Yeah. And then I
I don't know
think
that I'll watch it because I don't watch these
yeah.
things anymore.
Like I said, I'm very
But
hesitant after after Secret Invasion and how I mean truly awful that was. And Marvel has beyond just the animated What If series that just came out, they've basically wiped the TV slate clean. Besides this Echo show, to say we got to restart, rethink some things here because of how much of a letdown that was. So again, 5 episodes shouldn't be too much of a burden, and I'll so we'll see how that one goes, and then I'm really focused on. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. I don't know that I'm panicking or dreading 2024, but I'm gonna sort of try to dampen some of that dread by rewatching West Wing and looking at a more idyllic version of politics, thinking about what's
mm,
ahead.
yeah, we talked about an episode of West Wing, and we probably
Yeah,
got into that a little bit. I mean, I guess it is sort of TV if we think about the news and political coverage.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm wondering this myself. Like my question to myself is, am I going to be able to avoid it like I want to?
yeah.
Like I'm sitting here telling myself, I'm not going to pay attention. I'm going to pay as little attention as, but I'm not going to watch this stuff, you know,
Exactly,
but I
exactly.
don't know. I feel like I might get sucked in.
You unless you unplug from TV, social media, a workplace, anything, you're not going to be able to avoid it in 2024. So you need something to balance the scales a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it already started. You caught this stuff on New Year's Eve with Green Day. Did you see all this stuff that
Oh
came
yeah,
out?
I almost put this in the notes that I thought, well, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah,
But yeah, people are getting upset. I do think it's pretty funny that what they're getting upset about
yeah,
is this change to the lyrics of American Idiot.
yeah,
And it's like some people were saying, It used to be political. If nothing else, this is when they got political.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
This
It's
is a
like,
direct response to George W. Bush. I went to a Green Day concert in 2016. They were changing the lyrics 8 years ago. I promise you, this is not a new this is not a new thing.
right, yeah, yeah. But I think it was on like Rock New Year's Eve or whatever. So like more
Yeah,
people saw it.
yeah.
I also on New Year's Eve I tried to watch some of that stuff, and it was just like there was no show there. Like I think at one point I turned on the ABC broadcast, whatever they call it, and I think commercials were on for like more than 5 minutes, and I turned it off. Like I didn't see any of the actual show. It was just like it was like 11:30, you
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
And
Exactly.
and I turned it down. I'm like, man, I watched a ball drop or whatever. And it was just solid state commercials
Right.
until I ran out of patience. So I was
Apparently the network to watch was CNN because they had a Anderson Cooper, Andy Cohen, Neil Patrick Harris drunk version of Never Have I Ever that they did as it led up to midnight, and they got quite wild. So I need to go back and watch the replay of that.
right on. Yeah, yeah. That is the one I should have been going after. But they had the ABC one on Hulu streaming or
Yeah,
something. I don't
yeah.
know. I turned it off. All right.
Anyway,
Enough of all of that. We have some other stuff we can hit on next week, maybe, in our notes here. But let's get to Fargo, eh?
absolutely. Let's get to Fargo.